And welcome back to our Let's Play of Demon's Souls. I am Chubby Cheez-It.
And I'm just Gray Fox.
And we are the Three Heart Runners. Today, we will be going into the Shrine of Storms. This is one of my favorite levels, actually. There's a lot of really cool combat with these skeletons that you have to fight in this level. The reason why we're coming here today is to pick up a couple of items. I need to get the Crescent Falchion, which is a magical falchion. It's a really good weapon at the beginning of the game. Compound Longbow. And the Adjudicator Shield, as well as, of course, a few souls, and I'll be stopping by to see Sparkly the Crow to get a couple of items from him. Unfortunately, I didn't pick up the one item that I needed at the beginning of the Let's Play, so we'll have to trek back to the first level in another episode and come back here. But that's no big deal. Just gets more souls for me and gives me more time to spend on creating my character.
Always a good thing. Always a good thing.
Definitely. These guys that I'm fighting are heavy hitters, and if you're not familiar with the combat, they're going to be a little bit tricky for you to fight, but they're really not too hard. The real trick to them is to get them to do a big swing, which makes this giant animation that they can't stop, back up, and then attack them with two hands. You'll see it right now, not on this one. But again, like I said, they fly everywhere. You just gotta be patient with them. If you can get them to do the animation, you can kill them with 3 or 4 good hits with this weapon, and then the Crescent Falchion, it comes down to 3 hits. Makes it a lot easier in this level. This is a little bit of a tricky part because of the guy who's shooting the arrows. Those arrows do have magic on them, and they do a little bit of extra damage. But again, it's really not that big of a deal. Just concentrate on the enemy, and I narrowly avoided getting hit there. We'll go take care of this guy here real quick. And dodge. These guys jump around too. They're just absolutely nuts.
Should have kicked him off the ledge.
Yeah, I should have, but there's no kick off ledge button. And if there was, I would definitely use it on every enemy because it would be hilarious.
That's why we need an R4.
Well, they just need to kick them in the balls, because that would work every time.
Yeah.
This is what I'm talking about. You get them to do that, you just run up to them, 4 swings, done. Piece of cake. They don't always do that, but if you can get them to do that, you'll knock them out pretty quickly. After I kill this enemy up to the right, there's going to be a talisman, and the talisman I'm actually going to trade with Sparkly the Crow, which is going to give me a colorless demon soul. And the reason why I want to get that is because later in the game, I'm going to get a Asian curved sword called the Hitless, and upgrading it with the colorless demon soul makes it pretty strong. In fact, that's going to be the weapon that I'm going to use to fight the final boss in this game. But there's that. These guys can do a little bit of damage to you like that. Like I said, the magic arrows are kind of strong, but I've got plenty of healing equipment and whatnot, and I don't really need to worry about it too much. Just keep healing yourself and you'll be fine. Be careful in here because there's a little square on the floor which sets off a trap. So always have your shield ready to go. You'll take some damage, but it's not going to kill you as long as you have your shield up. Next enemy we're going to see is going to be a red enemy, and he has 2 curved swords. This guy can kill you in 1 hit. So the trick with him is to sneak up on him and to get him to do a lunging attack and dodging him to the right. Like that. And your prize for doing that is the Crescent Falchion. Now this weapon is unique. It does regular damage, it does magic damage, and also when you wield it, it basically just regenerates your magic constantly. Which is really nice to have, especially if you're a magic user. Now, I'm not much of a magic user in this game. I like having it just because it's a good weapon. And also, a little bit later on, you're going to see me fight the Flame Lurker. And the Flame Lurker, as experienced as you are, is a bitch. And this weapon makes his fight a lot easier. And that's, I guess, the main reason why I end up getting this weapon in the game.
A lot easier, but definitely not easy.
No. He almost kills me every time I fight him. Every single time I fight him, he almost kills me.
But it definitely improves your odds.
Oh, yeah. I mean, yeah, it does improve your odds. I'm glad I found this weapon when I did. Down over here is a key that I don't end up using in the game. It unlocks a door so that a merchant can get out and you can buy stuff from him. Like I said, I don't really use it until a little bit later on in a future episode. And I almost fall and kill myself with that trap there, which would have been wonderful.
But it is still advisable to get that key, though, right?
Yeah, it's still advisable to get that key. If you're not rushing through the game like I am, it's very advisable to get that so you can buy stuff from the merchant. He sells bows or arrows, and he does sell a bow, I believe, and he can sell some souls and stuff, and there's all sorts of things you need. By the way, I did want to mention, because I did find this on YouTube, since I said I was running through this as quickly as I can. I don't remember the YouTube user's name, but there is a guy who can play through this game in 56 minutes and 56 seconds. Absolutely impressive. If you enjoy my Let's Play, you should go watch him. I'll try to link his video in the tags or in the description below. It's just very entertaining. It's not, in a sense, how should I put it, someone describing themselves playing their game and giving you tips and whatnot, but it definitely, if you understand the game and you understand what he's doing, then you'll definitely get a kick out of it.
But if you enjoy witty commentary, then you should stay here instead. Because like you said, most speedruns that you watch are not going to include any kind of interesting commentary. Every once in a while you'll get a good one, but it doesn't happen very often.
I just picked up the compound longbow, and that's going to be used when I go back to the first level to kill the red dragon. And I'd like to introduce you to Sparkly the Crow.
Not nearly as fun as his cousin Drinky, but it's okay.
Yeah, well, you know, don't ever really see that guy much anymore. He kind of disappeared.
He did. Faded away.
But anyways, what you do in this situation is you drop an item right next to the tree, and then you reload your game, and then he trades. Now, I made a mistake here. I thought that this was going to give me the Regenerator's Ring, and in fact it doesn't. It gives me the Fragment Ring, and then all of a sudden I realized that I needed the Jade Hood Ornament, or Hair Ornament, excuse me, to get that. So I'm going to have to end up going back to the first level and picking that up. It kind of ticked me off just a little bit. I ended up screaming at the television when it happened. Ended up putting me off another 5 or 6 minutes. But you know what? Oh well, it's nice to have a Fragment Ring. The Fragment Ring regenerates your mana over a period of time. So if you ran the Fragment Ring and you're also using the Crescent Flalochen, your mana regeneration is off the wall. It's awesome. I'm going to be dropping here once I actually find it, because it's not in this area, it's in weapons. The Talisman of the Gods. And this will give me a colorless demon soul, like I said, which will allow me to upgrade my Hiltless. Okay, now that I've figured that out, we got to do a couple more things in this level. There's 2 things that we need to grab. We're going to go kill I guess it's a mini-boss, if you want to call it a mini-boss in this level. And then I've also got to pick up my favorite shield in the game, the Adjudicator's Shield, which is a pretty cool shield. It looks kind of like there's a guy in a sombrero, but it's really actually the Adjudicator boss.
It's definitely a fat man wearing a sombrero. If you take a look at it, you'll understand what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
So this kind of reminds me of the stop and swap system that never was. This is like how it should have been done.
Brings it up. Yeah, Banjo-Kazooie.
But that's exactly what this is, though.
Why did that not happen? I mean, come on now, that was awesome.
Instead, you're just left with a bunch of useless keys in the first game.
Actually, they explained it, why it didn't happen, because the new N64s that they released had a lockout chip that only lasted like 1.5 seconds or something like that, whereas the first one had like a 5-second lockout chip. So it continued, it held your data in it for 5 seconds, so you could switch out cartridges really quickly and then switch up data without having to use, of course, one of the memory cards.
Which basically means if by some amazing feat you can change your game cartridge in 1.6 seconds or less, you might be able to do it.
All right, this guy looks familiar, doesn't he?
Looks kind of familiar.
Well,
somebody I've seen in another game.
Look, welcome to round 2 of the first boss in the game. And what's funny is he's actually easier right here. With the exception of the flying units that are flying around, this guy is a lot easier. All you have to do is walk up to his stomach, let him come down, and then charge again. And you can just repeat that over and over and over again. The only thing that you have to do is you have to listen in the background for the noise of the spears that are coming down to make your life a little bit more difficult. But again, you just listen for it and dodge when you hear it, and it's no big deal. Again, this boss is real easy, especially with this Crescent Falchion. You do magic damage, you do bleed damage to him, you do normal damage to him. He gets taken down really quickly. He is very, very, very easy. As long as you don't get hit, of course. But we discussed that in the first episode, how to deal with this boss, and I'm showing you. You just walk back and forth, and back and forth, and back and forth. And no big deals. Another boss down. Over here is a unique weapon, the Utaga. And a lot of people like to use that. I don't particularly like it all that much because it breaks too easily.
Because it's very hard to pronounce.
Yeah, and that too. I don't even know if I pronounced it right there, but... oh well. But anyways...
The flying manta rays.
Yep.
Always insane.
But anyways, over to our left, we're going to be picking up the... Adjudicator Shield here in just a second. Now, the reason why I like the Adjudicator Shield so much is because when you have it equipped, it regenerates your life.
And it looks like a fat man in a sombrero.
And it looks like a fat man in a sombrero. I mean, what more could you possibly want? I end up using that along with the Regenerator's Ring to regenerate my life consistently throughout all of the levels that I play, except for a couple of them where I need to actually have some fire resistance, which things get changed up just a little bit. But other than that, I like having the Adjudicator Shield, like I said. And if you take a close look, fat man with a sombrero.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely awesome. But anyways, we are making our way back to the beginning of this stage to go back to the first level to pick up stuff that I missed. So, with that, I will say adieu. I am Chubby Cheez-It.
And I'm just Great Fox.
And we are the Three Heart Runners, and we will see you in the next episode. Take care.
Alright.
Alright.
Alright, pretty well.
Alright.
I think so.
I think so, too. I think we should leave that on.
Okay.
Alright.
Donald's hard when I